Alright, the next, or rather the first opponent of the day. A good chunk above my own MMR, but lower in combat power. So, yeah, I have made myself a little list. Let me just quickly check my cheat sheet. Of units, you will probably have it on screen here, of units that I use often, normally, barely, and almost never. And get ready for me to lose some MMR, because I want to integrate units that I'm barely or never using into my armies. Right now, what should I pick? I probably should get going. I think this is overall a solid start, even though I probably should have picked the Rhino Specialist just to, get to know how to play this stuff. Sledges against Stormcallers. Not a huge fan of it, but the sledge is strong enough not to be completely outdone by this, and I'm leaving a free gap hacker sort of gap here. If I do this, the crawlers are going to stream out from between the sledges, and that is going to be an absolute feast for his Stormcallers to eat up. So I will, for the first time in a long time, not do it this way. I will position myself a bit more centrally. And since I am heavy armor specialist, I should probably invest into something that has at least a bit of durability. So... You know what? No. Let's just go with more crawlers. I think this is, if anything, this is the turn to add in more chaff. I want to have a solid board as the first thing. He is adding in arc lights, which is unfortunate, but honestly, kinda to be expected. Crawlers are going a bit towards the outside, which is bad because my sledges are going to be somewhat clipped by that. Not on this side, interestingly. The crawlers are coming in too late. They are already locked onto the sledges, at least some of them. But overall, my opponent has a better unit setup at the moment, it seems. Unless these sledges absolutely go ham. Which they can if the tanks don't go and do good jobs hitting. I think they are not. Not good enough, anyway. Just look what a single sledge can still do to a set of Stormcallers. Mass-produced sledges, I don't want to devalue my sledges. This, I think, is not the turn. Wasp Swarm, I don't particularly like it, although it might secure myself a win, but I need to guard against this. This is not the turn for a combat power. I think I'm just skipping here. I think I'm skipping and I want to add in a bunch of units, so why don't we start with Rhinos? Seems like a good idea to have something go in, but at the same time I think this is not the turn for Rhino, because I need to do something in case he goes for Wasp Swarm. And since I'm not using Wasps that incredibly frequently, and I don't want to add in something like Marksman or Fangs at this time, because they get decimated by his Stormcallers, I think right now my choice is to go for Wasps. So I'm adding in a set of Wasps and I'm adding in a set of Sledgehammers. I want the Wasps to start... Let's start them out here. They are fairly quick and moving in alongside with the crawlers. Maybe put them a bit further up front. And I'm leaving a good gap here. Yeah. Maybe put them a bit further up front so that they push in along with the crawlers and not too far behind them. Let's do it. He's adding on more Fangs. He's going for the Wasp Swarm, unfortunately on the wrong side, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. I was really expecting them to drop in the middle, but it turns out that I was not expecting correctly. However, these Wasps are chasing the crawlers. And yeah, I guess that maybe is something I need to remember for the future. Having wasps like that, or rather having crawlers like that, is actually a good guard against wasps on that side. They will retarget, but they should retarget first towards the tanks. Okay, the tanks are already dead. So this is turning into a massacre. However, I would be surprised if he's not addressing these wasps here. Actually, if they get the tower... Oh, this is kind of bad for my opponent now. He has enough Fangs here. He had one more set of Fangs. If he didn't have those Fangs, we would have actually won the turn. Reinforcements. How good is having mass marksman here? I don't think it's particularly good. If I had to guess my opponent, I would say he can go for all of these. And for myself, I think, yeah, I really think only the Overlord is even remotely decent. I think these reinforcements are significantly better for my opponent than for me. Overlord's another unit that I am not adding in particularly often. However, upgrading these sledges should hopefully do something good. I also want to upgrade them. And for the rest of the turn, I think I just add on one more set of sledges and one more set of chaff to come in. And since other things are already coming in front now, I think what I can do is justify, you know, yeah, let's do this. These crawlers are entirely more or less sacrificial, quote unquote, but I want them to be here in case he starts lobbing missiles at me. They are more or less a missile shield. I wonder if I had put the Overlord a bit too far up front. He has gone for the Marksman, which is my counter against the Overlord. Well, I guess upgraded Wasps isn't half bad. He's going in for so many fangs, I need to care about it. Having many fangs on the battlefield usually means that he wants to turn them into a carry unit. However, as far as the first few rounds are considered, they are going to start losing against the tanks, hopefully. Because tanks trade pretty well into fangs. As long as I win the chaff war, and I should hopefully win it on this side, I can deal with the marksman. Yeah, his marksmen are not getting to do a whole lot. Meanwhile, now there's only... okay, there are still some tanks under this. I think I stand a good chance of winning this turn, but I'm not too confident given how nothing really is left. It depends on what my Overlord decides to attack and what my tanks do. Okay, yeah, his chaff is running in front. Unfortunate. Even with the tower debuff, I could not hold against his attack. Laser sight, maybe on the Overlord, but junior manufacturing. I think it's gonna have to be junior manufacturing. And what do I do against his units? I could go for my previous plan and add in some rhinos. To tank for my units, to bait Stormcaller shots and make them miss. But is it good against these fangs? I suppose they can tank for a long time against the fangs, because even if he goes ignite, I can go for photon coating. So, yeah, I have no idea if this is good. I kinda assume it is not, but let's try and go for it. And yeah, I think I will just add on one more set of sledges in this turn. In addition, oh come on, in addition to the rhinos. I want a solid battle line of tanks and maybe just 2 distance here so that if need be I can put some more in this direction. And then I basically want these to go in and start tanking some shots. No, I should be putting them in direct correlation to the position of the Stormcrawlers. They are hopefully far enough forward so that the crawlers don't run in. I think I should have them come in a little later, actually. This way a bunch of crawlers will be clipped, but not all of them. Let's see what happens. I bet he was not expecting this. To be fair, like yesterday, I was not expecting this from me either. So, now the Stormcrawlers are shooting on these rhinos. They are tanking, and now my units are in range. He's just adding on more and more leveled marksmen in this specific case, it seems. I wonder if I should sell the Overlord, but as long as it has tanks to tank, it should be fine. The extra tanks, I think, are absolutely doing amazing work here, even though I still don't think it's gonna be enough. I don't have enough sustain in my army, I don't have enough chaff clear, I think is the problem right now. And honestly, to me, that more or less means I need more tanks in this specific scenario, but if he hits the shield button, it's going to look significantly worse for me. Top supply? Yeah, let's go for top supply.